Taking a look at today's equity index futures markets, let's check in on the S&P 500 future today. It's realizing a little bit of selling pressure here late in the day, now and pushing it down for a second day in a row now, and currently trading just below the 4,400 handle. 43.86 on the futures market, the September future, and as I mentioned, we are seeing some selling pressure as we move through the day. So initially, we did see a positive reaction coming into the session with the S&P futures up nicely to start the session. But then I think the digestion of some of the data points, certainly I think there was some expectations that the infrastructure bill was moving in a positive direction. Now that appears to have stalled a little bit. And, just some of the general sentiment in the market appears to be waning a little bit as we continue to push through earnings season, and ultimately leading to the futures market selling off late in the session, not giving up too much ground, as I mentioned, but still closing down on the session. And when you look at some of the general trends in the market, we are seeing the S&P 500 futures basically flatlining here for the last 7 trading sessions. We're seeing a pretty tight range, and with today's close, we actually are closing at the lowest level in 7 sessions, but really just off of the levels where we did see a new all-time high. I believe it was last Thursday, and we're not too far below that. So again, some flatlining here once again today, and for 7 sessions, we are seeing a consolidation pattern in the S&P 500 futures. And when you look at the activity today overall for all the major equity index futures markets, the NASDAQ was able to eke out a gain. We did see the NASDAQ futures, again, positive for most of the day, going a little negative late in the session, but then able to find and climb back to a positive close, where we did see the Russell futures had the worst performer of the day, and they were down about 40 basis points. And then the Dow futures are down about 20 basis points, and the S&P futures down about 5 basis points for really not giving up too much ground. But overall, 3 of the 4 major equity index futures markets were lower on the session.